another episode of Meanwhile in the Falklands. Do you know where we are today? We're not in the office anymore.
Right.
We're not in the office anymore.
Been asking for weeks to do this out of the office.
So apologies, there is a slight hum on the microphones, and that is because we're in the Westall Cafe and it's just been refurbished. It's looking pretty gorgeous in here,
isn't it? Very bright and cheerful.
Yeah. If you want to see what it looks like, you tune into episode 411 of the FITV podcast. No, of the FITV Falklands in Focus. So I was distracted by some children then. And you'll be able to see what it looks like. So we are. You see, it's really quiet. It's only me because I'm still waiting for my food, but everyone else is just tucking in. What have you just had? You just had breakfast.
I've just had a breakfast roll, which was very nice, with sausage, egg and bacon and ketchup. Oh, everything yummy. So I'm set for the day.
And it's a pretty gorgeous day as well, isn't it? It's sunny outside. So all you Falkland Islanders who are sitting in the UK right now listening to this, and it's cold and wet, and everyone's talking about Brexit, you need to be here.
20 degrees
sunny.
today.
Is it?
Yeah.
20
Well,
degrees.
the car said 19, so I'm definitely rounding up. But oh no.
20 degrees. And for the first time in a long time, we don't have anything on this weekend either.
I know, fab.
So what are you going to be doing?
I have actually got no plans. For once, no plans. I just plan to do nothing.
I thought you were like
weekend.
big into fishing. You were
Oh yeah,
doing
well, we actually do, yeah. If the weather's good, but it's because it's so windy at the moment, it's kind of disturbs the fish and the water, because apparently it brings up all the silt from the bottom of the seabed.
Okay.
And they don't like it, and they can't see and smell as well.
Did you think you'd know this much about fishing before you moved down here?
No. I like it because it's a hobby that gets you outside, I think, to be honest. I'm not a very good fisherwoman.
Have you caught anything yet?
I have actually. I've caught a couple of mullet, but I'm still after my trout.
Okay.
Trout's what I want to catch.
What are you using to catch it?
Spinners.
Okay.
And floats. But you used to be a very good fisherwoman, weren't you?
I used to fish. I used to fish for carp, carp only. And do you know what? The only reason I went for carp was because I didn't have to use maggots. That was the only reason why I went carp fishing.
Did you not like having to touch the maggots?
No. So
Isn't that where you took your now husband on first date?
Yeah.
First date fishing?
Well, it wasn't a first date, but no, we went fishing and went to a local lake, and I set up his rod. He was fishing, so he was on the bottom of the lake on a system. So he's on tutti frutti flavoured boilies, and because it was a beautifully sunny day, I was on dog biscuits on a free line on the surface, because the carp will come up and take them. And I hooked this absolutely massive carp, about 15, 16 pounds.
Wow.
But there were loads of, because I was a lot thinner then. There were all these blokes round on poles picking out all these perch that were really tiny. And there's me with this
God. We need to find a photograph of this, photographic evidence of you and this big
Yeah,
carp.
I think I might have a look round.
Yeah,
But
see if you can find it.
There's a lot of stuff in the fire, but yeah, I'll have a look, see what's behind.
So slightly role reversal, but size does matter then, because Steve was impressed.
He was very impressed with the size of my fish, yes, indeed. So that wasn't on the list. Listener, what happened was, back in the office, we made this beautiful long list of all the things we were going to talk about today. And then I promptly forgot to bring the notebook with me, so I've written it on the back of a Christmas card. It happened to be in my handbag. So what's new with you, Thomas? Because you're a little bit achy today, aren't you?
Yeah, and I'm being quiet because I'm still digging into my jacket potato. But yeah, I got a tattoo yesterday.
Been through the wars.
Yeah, self-inflicted though, so very little sympathy, I guess. But I had a tattoo on my back, and the design wasn't completed. And I got in touch with one of the local artists, James Peck, and he designed me a tattoo, and he's also a tattoo artist. So we went through an excruciating 5 hours yesterday. Got there just before 3. I didn't leave his place until about 9:30. It was a very long afternoon.
You'd think he'd get cramp in his hand with that needle. You know what I mean? Like imagine you holding a pen.
You're talking to someone who has no idea about tattoos at all.
Holding a pen for a long period of time writing is difficult. The thing, holding a paintbrush or a tattoo needle, you'd think he'd cramp up, and then all of a sudden you'd end up with a little bit going.
Having looked at it, I'm pretty confident he did not go everywhere, but No,
You have
it
to
was.
put a picture up for the listeners.
Was that a little bit too graphic of my back?
No, I think the listeners will
Disclaimer.
want to see that. Yeah.
No, disclaimer: Thomas back.
And of
Sexy back shot.
if you're listening to
bring
this
you
on
sexy back.
iTunes, then you need to go just click onto our YouTube channel, where you'll see this as an MP4, and you'll be able to have a look at some pictures that we just pop in every so often, and one of them will be of Thomas's back.
Yeah, I might.
Maybe we should put it on our Instagram or something.
Yeah, I have to clean it first though. I haven't cleaned it properly yet. I'm only allowed 20-second showers for the next 3 days.
Oh, okay.
So everyone steer clear of standing close to Thomas.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's rephrase that then, listener. If you want to see Thomas's tattoo, you'll have to keep checking our Instagram over the next few days, and then we'll get it.
Sure,
up
it will
eventually.
appear. Yes, absolutely.
But I mean, going on from that, if you're listening to this and you think, gosh, there's only 3,500 people on the Falkland Islands, and they've got a tattoo park,
2 tattoo artists.
2 tattoo artists. But there is quite a few people. What did you say in the office? You said there's a lot of people that do very unusual jobs.
Yeah,
Unusual
I think
skills.
small. Yeah, because for a small population, we've got a lot of people who have very specialist skills, and like taxidermists,
Yeah.
the paper crafty
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, like origami or.
Thank you very much.
stuff, like the paper craft of the buildings, the really fiddly small paper crafty things. Whereas back in the UK, I guess it's a bit more diluted, isn't it? Because the population is so big, and
You have
there's
to
a lot.
try-
There's a lot. I think with here, there's a lot less things to do in terms of like television channels. There's not loads of television channels and things like that, so people get up and get out and do a bit more, and we'll try join clubs and try and be sociable and
Try
stuff
and do
like that.
something a little bit
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
We're just going to pause the podcast for a minute because I just need to go and order a hoagie. Hang on a second. Okay.
Right, you're gonna have to explain what a hoagie is now.
Okay, so I'm back now. Yeah, a hoagie is, well, what did you say? Describe as like a toasted 6-inch.
Subway.
Subway.
Yeah, I know the brands are available, but
Yeah, we were having the whole discussion before we came back online, let's say, on the podcast, whether we could actually say Subway or not.
It's like a big sandwich, isn't it? Really, like a big Subway roll sandwich in a foot long roll or half a foot 6-inch.
Yeah.
Different
yeah.
choice of fillings and sauces.
So you don't have, in the Falklands, you don't have the generic fast food things that you get in the UK. So there's nothing like Domino's, Subway, McDonald's, Burger King. You don't have it at KFC, you don't have any of that down here. So it's all sort of make your own, and the West will do a very good job at it, I do.
And also Shorties. We've got
I like
Shorties American
Shorties.
Diner. Have a mix of American fast foody kind of stuff.
I'd like to say that I don't eat at Shorties at least once a week, but I think I most definitely do. It's definitely a weekend thing, isn't it?
I think we're going to have to also go and have a look at Crumb's. That's it, deafness all. We're going to have to go and look at Crumb's Bakery as well. 'Cause I really like that.
Never been there.
It's opened up recently, hasn't it? Yeah. And so there was a bakery beforehand, and when did that close?
Oh, 2015.
Yeah. So
Why
it's
did it
been a
close?
while since having fresh bread.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what
Was it
one
just
thing.
not, yeah, as Hannah said, why did it close? Was it just not popular enough? Or?
The guy who was running it was had quite bad health, and no one wanted to take it on, so it just closed.
Fair enough. It's a shame though, because fresh bread is something that could really do with here.
And like a fishmonger and stuff like that. I think butchers, like a local butcher, like an
There
old
was a butcher at one stage. I'm sure there's some photographs on our data drive of the butchers, which was basically out the back of somebody's vehicle. I think.
Yeah. Well, someone argued with me, speaking about fishmongers, that the frozen fish is fresher than the fresh fish you'd get at fishmongers. Because it's not been frozen at that point, it's just kept on ice, and so by the time it's come from the sea where it was caught to the market where you're buying it from, it's obviously been out of the sea and not frozen for a certain amount of time, whereas when they catch it and freeze it on board straight away, it freezes and retains all its whatever, because I'm not a scientist. And therefore, when you defrost it, then when you buy it and bring it home, it's fresher than it would be if you went and bought fresh fish from the market.
Because they've defrosted it and left it out on display for however long.
Exactly that. So that was one of the fishing guys telling me all about that. I'm sure, as you can tell, I was riveted by the conversation about fish.
Yeah. I just love the fact next time we interview you and we have a Aston bar underneath you, it'll say Thomas Stockton, not a scientist. Excellent. So as you can, sorry, we haven't even introduced ourselves yet. So Katie's still away because her mum's still here. I just wondering what kind of things have you, is any of your relatives coming to visit, and where do you think you would take them?
Mine personally aren't. My parents are the carers for my grandparents, so they don't have really the opportunity to step away. My little brother is still at university, and my sister is currently searching for a job. So I do believe that they're all in sticky situations. I mean, they won't fly down to the Falklands. Maybe with a second flight might change things if it makes it a little bit cheaper. But yeah, there's an abundance of places you'd take them straight away.
Yeah.
I'd go to definitely Whalebone Cove. Well, no, not Whalebone Cove, that's over there. Whale Point, sorry. We were talking about Whale Point earlier. See the wreck of the St Mary.
That's somewhere near Fitzroy, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, I've been there. I've been to Whale Point.
Yeah,
I didn't realise. Everyone keeps telling me about Whale Point. I went there for the Pathfinders thing. Didn't realise that
I
at
thought
all.
you knew
There
that.
we go. No, I didn't realise that was because I thought that was Fitzroy. Something part of Fitzroy.
beyond
Something.
Fitzroy,
Yeah. That's funny. It didn't see any whales, but saw a lot of,
yeah. I don't know why it's
elephant seals.
there's a lot of whale bones out there though. There's a proper like whalebone graveyard out there. So there's a couple of colonies of penguins. You see quite a fair bit of sea lions. And if you go with a historian, such as the old history teacher down here, he's got always an abundance of stories to tell you about the St Mary and all that. So yeah.
Did you climb up and around the wreck as well?
Yeah, massively. Yeah. You know me, I'm a big child. Give me the opportunity to climb on something, I am there. But I believe Katie this week went to Bodie Creek Bridge with her mother, which you're going to have to stop eating for a second, Paula, because you're the only one who knows anything about Bodie Creek out of all of us. So please crack on.
Well, I've been told it's the most southerly suspension bridge in the world, but there's somebody who said, no, there's another one in Chile, but I don't know. Anyway, it's advertised as the most southerly suspension bridge in the world, across a creek, really.
Yeah. Is it Bodie Creek?
I'm not. Do you know what? I'm not sure. But it's somewhere near Goose Green. It's now actually closed, so you can't actually go across it because it's in such bad repair.
Can you walk across it?
Yeah. You used to be able to, but I think they've now closed it for safety reasons. But
Yeah.
It's one of those things we've always wanted to do a piece on in the last 8 years. And I think about sort of 7 years ago, I sent somebody to go and take some footage of it. So we've got footage of how it looked 7 years ago. So if we went again, it'd be interesting. But they're built by the FIC, and we're actually in the FIC
Building.
cafe today.
Yeah.
We'll have to go and explore, do an expedition out there and see if we can find it.
I seem to recall that one of the issues as well is that we're not insured to drive off-road, and it's quite a bit of off-roading from Goose Green to get there. I mean, you can walk it, but I wouldn't want to walk it with a camera kit.
No, we need somebody who can drive us out there. But yeah, no, it's very nice.
Yeah. But that being said, if it's not that far a walk, I think I'd be up for driving up, parking up. If I was just carrying the drone on my back or something like that, I'd go out there and get some shots.
Oh, drone footage would be lovely.
Time to find a still day.
Yeah.
There we go. I think I've discovered some weekend plans.
So we're sitting here, listeners, thinking what we're going to do this weekend. Because last weekend, my goodness, I mean, this week's programme, I can't tell you how jam-packed, and I'm using that phrase again, jam-packed with sport. So who's our listener who listens in? Is it Stephen?
Oh, Katie knows the name.
Yeah, he was asking for sport.
Now I feel terribly bad.
Jam-packed with sport this week. Thomas, just tell us some of the sports that are on this week. Well,
I'll take one and hand the second one over to Hannah. So the first one was the delayed Raft Race. So the New Year's Day Raft Race called off because of weather conditions. We turned up on the Saturday, and oh my days, the weather was just all over the place. It went from sunny to windy to rainy to sunny to rainy to sunny to rainy, and it was a southerly wind, so it was pushing the rain clouds over us. So it was like rain clouds, sky, blue sky, rain cloud, blue sky. And just as you thought the rain had stopped as the race started, the wind decided to change around and become a northerly and blow some of the rain clouds back, which is fantastic. I was trying to get the drone up as well, which was a bit of a nightmare.
You got a couple of shots though, didn't you?
Got some shots. I got some nice stuff of the team that won actually. So compared to, it was my second year filming it, and last year there was 6 rafts in it, and this year there were 14. So good to see the turnout.
It was brilliant. I like it. I like the way it's grown into, it's not just people on a raft heading for the finish line now. There's tactics involved.
Yeah.
There's weapons involved.
Yeah, nothing too brutal before we say that the military are involved in the race. There's nothing. It's not like they've got the typhoons flying overhead or anything of the sort. But it's like flower bombs and water guns and all that kind of stuff. So it is a really good laugh, and the military came down. There was a very good military turnout for it as well. The raft that wins every year won again. Just gets a little bit of a makeover.
Thank you.
Oh, there's the hoagie that had been ordered arriving. But yeah, it's something that we were talking about it at the end, and there was two teams from the D miners from Safe Lane Global that entered, and they had such a good time doing it. They were such good sports, but they were so. You did an interview with one of the chaps organising their teams beforehand, didn't you, Hannah?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of their stuff was donated by like Speedwell and other companies, such as like wetsuits and life jackets, because none of them could swim. So it was really fun. It was really fun. It was such an accomplishment for them to get to the end. Chaps from Zimbabwe in the South Atlantic Ocean doing a raft race with a hand-built raft from demining stuff. They were given the day off to do it as well.
Honestly, it was really good.
But we were talking at the end how I don't think that kind of event would take place in the UK. Could you imagine? There would be helicopters over the top. You'd have lifeguards every 20 meters. Absolutely, you'd have so many forms to be filled out at the start. I don't think that kind of thing would have taken place anywhere else in the world. But no accidents, touch wood, and it all went really, really well.
Oh, yeah. And Hannah, you and I went to a new club on Monday.
Yeah, we did. We went down to the leisure centre to see the new basketball club, which was quite good fun. Very, very quick, fast-paced. They were running up and down the court and shooting hoops and drop shots and
at that as well.
all slam dunking things. And they all had very flashy trainers. Honestly, it was quite funny. They all had these high-top, flashy neon Nike special basketball trainers.
You were very taken with
I was quite taken with, yeah. But it was good actually, and it was funny because I went to it thinking that everyone was going to be super duper tall, when actually the majority of the team were actually a little bit shorter, weren't they? But it was good, and we interviewed MLA Stacey Bragger about basketball, who is on the board for the basketball team. So I assumed he played basketball. It turns out he doesn't. No. So next week I'm hoping that I can get him on the court, get a shot of him slam dunking, and that'll make my day, I think.
Yeah, I asked him a question about the difference between basketball and netball, and he said, I have absolutely no idea. So, yeah, he needs to have a look at that. And also the sports for the Island Games have finally been announced.
Yes, indeed. How many are there this year from the Falkland Islands?
I can't remember, but there's two new sports that are taking place.
And what are they?
The table tennis and squash.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to it, because Hannah and I will be going to Gibraltar for that one. Excited?
Oh, I am excited. I can't wait to go. I've never been to like a big sporting event apart from Wimbledon. I've never been to a big like Olympics or anything like that, so it should be good fun.
Yeah, it was very good last 2 years ago. I covered it for when it was in Gotland, and it's a really, really good atmosphere, and the facilities are very good. We've got it all sorted. That's in Gibraltar in July, isn't it?
Yes.
4th of July.
And we go from one OT that has penguins in it to an OT that has monkeys in it. So there we go. We're swapping weather, swapping continents, swapping animals.
So another thing that's on, our office has really suffered with this week, isn't it? With hay fever.
Yeah,
my goodness.
It confuses you. You don't know if you've got a cold or whether it's the pollen that's attacking your face.
Well,
I was going to say, but someone's looked into that this week.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, you've had it for a while, haven't you, Paula? Your symptom of hay fever.
I wouldn't like to say that I gave you this job because I wanted you to find out what was wrong with me, but yeah, what did you find out?
What it is it's the because the weather conditions here in the Falklands is quite windy and the grass goes to seed because people don't mow their lawns, all the pollen goes up into the air and blows around a lot. This year as well, we've had quite a dry summer and then a cold winter, so it's meant that there's more pollen in the air and things like that.
What's the main sources of pollen down here?
Gorsebush
is
the first main source, and a lot of the British grasses. We've got the white grass and stuff like that. That's what James, the agronomist, was saying when I went and interviewed him. But the way to avoid it is mow your lawns,
Yes.
Don't go outside, ever. Take an antihistamine.
That's an awful piece of
Yeah,
advice.
I know.
Don't go outside.
Take an antihistamine and take it regularly. Don't just take one and think that you're fine. Do you know what I mean? You've got to take it on a consistent
So it's like a contraception
basis, yeah.
pill, like you just have
Yeah.
to keep taking it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You downloaded that list from the NHS website or something, and it was giving you a list of how to avoid it. And ridiculous things like stay indoors and when as soon as you come in, take your clothes off,
wash
and get
all
them
your
washed
hands and.
like, you know,
Shower a couple of times a day to make sure it gets off your face.
Well, I've had the best thing to do is put Vaseline under your nose. The pollen gets trapped there and doesn't actually go up and in.
Okay.
Could you imagine me
Slimy
coating my moustache in Vaseline?
Yeah.
Looking like I've got a runny nose all day, but at least I'm not sneezing.
And they also have nasal pumps and eye drops and stuff you can use to kind of stop you having that blocked up nose feeling.
Yeah.
So it might be worth a try.
Yeah, definitely.
So the other big thing this week is yesterday, Thursday the 10th of January, was Margret Thatcher Day down here in the Falklands.
Only celebrated here, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, because it's the anniversary of her first visit down to the Falklands, which was in 1983. You did a big piece on this, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I went round and interviewed quite a lot of our pillars of society, shall I say, the pillars of society of the Falkland Islands, who were there during the first visit of Margaret Thatcher's first visit. So I went and found out what it was like when they shook hands with her and got autographs and things like that, which was quite good. And it was difficult because I wanted to speak to people of all ages, so we had quite a wide cross-section of the community. Managed to find a very old photograph of MLA Leona Roberts. So I went after her. Yeah, I sent it to her in an email because I thought she might want to see us. Right, tell me, what was it like? Which was good. And then the footage went off to ITV, which was even better.
Yeah.
So
I'm feeling like, despite the fact that Hannah did all the work for this, I'm still feeling a claim to fame. As like when ITV got in touch with FITV, I got named by ITV on Twitter without prompting it. They named me. I was my head went. It got so big. For the ITV, so they got in touch saying, "Are we doing anything about Margaret Thatcher Day? And can we have the footage, the stuff you were working on?" And because it was ITV Leeds, they put, "Oh, by the way, we saw that Thomas went to university in Sheffield. Nice one." And I was just like, they said my name. Unprompted.
You're famous, Thomas. You're famous.
Yeah.
So we were looking at coming up next week, and I don't know what prompted this, but we had to look at what was going on at this cinema. What was it you were saying about the new Holmes and Watson film?
Yeah, there's been so many versions over the last decade or so, because you had the Robert Downey Jr. version, you had the Sir Ian McKellen version.
the BBC series.
Yeah, with Benedict Cumberbatch, but a personal favourite of ours, isn't he? Will Ferrell.
Yeah, Will Ferrell's really good.
Has decided to take on the role and he's joining up with For the Life of Me.
John C. Reilly, isn't it?
Is that the
yeah,
guy
that's the name of the other guy.
The guy he did Step Brothers with
Yeah.
as well, yeah. So we're looking at that, saying we have to go down to watch that. And as Paula said, we started watching looking at the cinema list down here. It's just like, got to watch that.
But the big thing is we can't do it because it's on Sunday, isn't it? But we can't do it because they've got the road closed, haven't they, between 10 and 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
So if we get there, we can't actually get
We'll
back.
just have to leave very early in the morning and come back.
Anyway,
Massively looking forward to the cinema in Stanley being built. Hannah's got a little guess.
yeah. So you see, it's quite loud because it is obviously it's the big summer holidays for the children down here.
And we have picked lunchtime, haven't
And
we?
we pick lunchtime, so we may have to re-record this because it's probably too loud. But anyway, let's round this off.
I think it's atmospheric.
It's atmospheric. That's what we'll call it. So just rounding this off, we were having a look at what we were reading and stuff like that. What are you?
I'm finishing off the 4-part series of books by Ursula Le Guin, the Earthsea series. She's dubbed I quite like my fantasy genre to begin with, but she's dubbed the godmother or the godmother of the fantasy genre. The first book came out in 1968, so I think she was sort of one of the first people to explore that kind of magicians and dragon kind of style. So really, really good. I mean, I wouldn't say they were the most thrilling books for an adult, but I can see how they sort of even gave birth to a genre. So really been enjoying them.
Late 60s, isn't it?
Yeah, 68 the first one came out in.
I have to say, to my shame, I've never actually read an Ursula Le Guin. So one
of my favourite writers is Neil Gaiman,
Yes.
and he
Stardust.
said that he says that Ursula Le Guin for him is like the pinnacle of where fantasy came from. So I thought, well, I can't love Neil Gaiman and not give that a read. So
Is that the book that's massively thick that's on our kitchen table?
yeah, 1,400 pages. I'm in the last 2 chapters now of the final bit of it. So it's 4 books in one. That's why it's so big. But no, it's at the end of the 4th book, and I have no idea where it's going. It's been building up to something. There's only like 50 pages left. What on earth is going on?
Sequel.
Twist coming on.
Yeah.
Now, last time we spoke to you about what book you were reading, it was Eleanor Oliphant is...
I haven't, in all honesty, I haven't picked up a book in a good couple of months. I actually go out. I don't know, but I do.
She actually goes
come
out.
in,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
but I come in at 10 in the evening, don't I? Really,
Yeah.
I'm not really out on it. I don't sit and read.
Yeah, but it
Rarely.
only takes.
I
No, I think
sorry.
that's a snap judgment. It only takes half an hour before you go to sleep. It's
Yeah, but then I'll be in bed
rather than putting your
till half
laptop
10.
on. Rather than putting your laptop on when you get back, it's half an hour of reading and lights off and you're asleep. So none of that.
But anyway, so join us next week. I think this is coming to the end of this yes, we are. So just coming to the end of the podcast this week. Join us next week. Hopefully Katie will be back.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Possession Day from South Georgia.
Yes, indeed. What else have we got on next week?
You've got
Police speed checks, terribly exciting.
Hannah's going to go and do a ride along.
Are you?
Shoot Kevin Hart over here.
Yeah. And I'm going to be taking people's speed. I want to have a get at the gun. That's all I want to do.
So we've got that. We've got Possession Day coming up. What was there? Was something else on the board that was coming up as well?
Government
I
House?
can't remember. There is a couple of Government House receptions to go to.
Always nice. Haven't seen the governor and his wife in a while, so I'm looking forward to that.
So join us if you want to listen along to or watch along to the programme this week. It was week 411. Things we didn't talk about was the 6-legged sheep. Yeah, yes, there was, and that's a picture of that on the news today.
Only in the Falkland Islands.
Polydactyl.
Yeah, you say that word.
That's right. I learnt that word.
No, it's
Polydactyl.
some sort of dinosaur.
Sounds like a Pokemon as well.
Yeah, so join us there. You can watch along if you tune into FITV.co.uk. It's the same episode, same price as the Penguin News now. £2 because they put their prices up. Yeah.
So now
It's
we're
the same
competing
price.
on the same level.
Yeah, £6 a month, £60 a year. Get subscribing, people, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
See ya.